So, our next installment here, we're going to talk about building a practice plan. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. And wanted to give you a couple coaches reached out and that I didn't know. They didn't know me. They watched the video we put together at install, and they said, "Hey, you ought to introduce yourself." So, to those of us that don't know, and my name's James Bent. I'm in Lubbock, Texas. I'm on Twitter at Coach Ben. I've got a blog. We've got this YouTube channel. Got some stuff on CoachTube. Uh, and started my coaching career in the Bronx in New York City. We took over a program that had lost 27 games in a row, had never had a winning season, never been to the playoffs, and enjoyed a lot of success. And ended up at the college level as an OC, uh, and then came down to Texas. I've been an offense coordinator, defense coordinator at the high school and college levels, been special teams coordinator, um, and hopefully I can give you some things that you can use. But this all came about meeting with some young offense coordinators that I'd met speaking at some clinics this year, and they started talking about how they kind of like I was thrust into the role, didn't really know exactly what to do, and I met with them, gave them some things to start with, and we decided this would be a good thing to put out and help other coaches. Uh, the resources that you're going to see, some of the things you're going to see. What I've done is I've taken all of our call sheet, practice plan, scripts, scouting report, kind of defensive worksheet, all the stuff you need, your depth charts, everything you need to be successful and organized as an OC. Put those together. You can use the QR code. I put a link in the description. About $10. You can go click on it and you can download those. And that way you don't have to recreate the wheel. You can just take and use what I've used, and this helped us to be very, very successful. And guys, I'm going to tell you, a lot of what I'm going to talk to you about today isn't that I do it so well. It's that I've found every way to screw it up. So I'm going to help you not make those mistakes. So I'm not coming to you from a place where I've never made a mistake, made a lot of them, and I'm going to try to help you avoid making those same mistakes. And I think this will benefit you if you're an experienced offense coordinator. Maybe you can pick up some nuggets. If this is your first time as an OC, or you aspire to be an offense coordinator, this is going to help you, give you some tools, give you some knowledge and wisdom you can use to be more prepared when you step into that role this fall. First thing, just real quick, how long should practices be? As long as it takes to get done what you need to get done. Remember, you want kids to be fresh when it comes to game week. So you have to determine what we've done. What worked well was, our camp practices are camp practices. Camp's grueling. We all know it. But once we get into the season, Mondays are going to be a little bit shorter. Tuesdays are going to be usually, if we're playing a Friday night game or a Thursday night game, Tuesdays are going to be our longest practice. Wednesday is going to be a little bit shorter than Tuesday. Usually we do the same number of periods, but we cut a minute off each period. And we have, each day we have some specific focuses. But Wednesday we're going to spend some time on 2-minute drill Wednesday and red zone. And then Thursday is our pregame practice where we're going to go through and work all of our situations, personnel changes, things like that. We always want to work our openers, and really we work our openers each day. But Thursday is usually going to be about a 45-minute to hour practice. Coaches will say, well, should we be full gear or half pads? That depends on your team. When I first started coaching 25 years ago, we were going to be in full pads every day. All right, that was great. The times have changed. All right. I got to the college level, we'd be in full pads 1 or 2 days a week, half pads the rest of the week. We'd even be in half pads, during a lot of our camp practices. When I got down to Texas, I've been at schools where we were full gear, 2 or 3 days a week, half pads one day. I've been at places where we were, full gear on Tuesday, half pads, everything else. What fits your players? What do they need to do? Where do they need to be in to maximize their performance? I don't think there's a wrong way. I've really preferred, Monday we're going to be half pads, Tuesday, Wednesday we're going to be full, Thursday we're going to be, shells again. Now let's talk about building a practice schedule. When I first became an offense coordinator, I didn't know what to do. So I didn't really have a written down practice plan. I told everybody we were going to do. We get out there, we're kind of a lot of standing around. All right. And then we had a guy named Jerry Campbell come up, who was the offense coordinator at Westwood High School, Round Rock, Texas, very successful. And Jerry came up, was helping us put the option in, said, "What's your practice plan look like?" I showed him, he laughed, and he showed us how to build a practice plan. And that's what we've used. That's what was really effective. All right. And I'll show it to you in just a minute. We're going to have a pre-practice, practice for practice. So when guys get out of the locker room, there is something they're expected to do. They're not, standing around doing nothing while they wait for first period to start. No, we're out there and it's on. We put the practice plan on the wall. Then we have our individual period, group period, team period, and then our good on good competitions. Everything is unified. I talked a little about this in our install video. What are we installing? So we're going to take our install schedule or during fall camp, during the season, our weekly play menu, and our we've plugged those into our script, and our individual drills are designed to teach the skills and techniques necessary for the play calls we're going to be working that day. Group periods, we're going to take more than one position group. They're going to come together and work together on those same calls. Then we go team, and now we work those calls. During our good on good competition drills, we're working those calls. All right. 3 things every coach must have at practice. If you're an OC, you aspire to be an OC, this is what you need to expect your guys to have: a practice plan. They need to have a practice plan. You need to give them the plan. This is what we're doing. They need to have a pen so they can write things down on the plan. I know everybody's smart enough to remember until you don't. I forget stuff at practice. I'll say, "Oop, I hope," and then I get in and I'm like, I forgot. Write things down so that you can get in and put your notes on paper and be able to get stuff corrected. And then everybody has to have a whistle. How can you practice playing through the whistle if you don't ever give them a whistle? All right. Every coach should have a whistle, blow the whistle. And I'm notorious for not blowing the whistle. All right. So this is an area I'm preaching to all of us. All right. Show your coaches what the field setup should be. If they don't know where to go, they're not going to ever get there. Your position group, each group should have an area they go. You need to provide this to your coaches. You can go on Google. You can find field diagram, and you can get just a field. All right. And then you can draw a box. You can print it out, write on it, whatever you need to do, but show your guys where they need to be. All right. And then where are we going to go when we transition into our group drills? All right. We give this to our coaches so they know where to be. Oh, it's period 7. I'm supposed to be in 7-on-7. This is where I am. All right. Put your plan on paper. Let me say that again. Put your plan on paper. This is what our practice plan looks like. So my first practice plan, like I said, I told everybody what to do. Then I wrote it onto an index card, and then Coach Campbell came and helped us build. This is what our practice plan ended up looking like. All right. So it's our template. We divide it by position group. We segment it into periods, and we'll put the time on here. Across the top, we put our dress, our tempo for the day, thud, tag off, full go, whatever it might be, the date, what special teams we're working, what conditioning we have. Here, I put a note, 4-minute periods. So we would put the time in here, in segments of 4 minutes. Any keys, and then runs, pass protections, play actions, all that stuff. All right, here's what it looks like filled out. So you can see it's a we're in full gear. We're going thud tempo. I don't have a date on here, but don't worry about it. Punt and kickoff are the 2 specials we're working. Conditioning, we're doing a tempo drill, and we have 5-minute periods. You can see our keys. This was at a school where we were installing a no-huddle offense. They'd never done it. They'd always huddled. So we were really emphasizing, see the signal, get your eyes on the signaler, hear the checks, quarterback changes the play, hear it, and then let's line up fast. What RPOs we were working, what runs we were working. We were working inside zone and power with a couple of tags. What pass protections are we working? What play actions? What pass concepts? It was a snag day. All right. And then what screens? And then you can see we have our pre-practice, 10 minutes. And by position, it says this is what they're doing. So each coach knows where those guys should be. We post this, by the way, you post this. All right. You post it in the locker room. So all your players come down, they get dressed, they can see it. They know the plan. Also, our coaches can fill this out during the day. They have to have it done before practice starts. They have to have it done an hour before. That gives us time to print it out. All right, now I'm going to show you something. If you get the template from me, it comes as, Excel and Word and PowerPoint and all that. Well, you can upload it into, this is in Google Drive. We're in Google Drive. All right, so here's a practice plan in Google Drive. All right, here's the scripts. We'll get to these in just a second. All right, we'll come back to them. So this is our filled out. So they can fill it out. Every coach can have access, be typing it in, and then you just go through and print it out. All right, so you can see our individual periods. We had 15 minutes of individual. Then we went to our group periods. We had half line pass with quarterbacks, receivers, O-line, D-line, or O-line, and running backs are working V drill. Then all of our skill guys are doing RPO drill. O-line gets 10 more minutes of Indy. Then we're into team screen. Then we're into our blitz pickup period. Then we're into team tempo. All right. And then we have inside run. During inside run, the wide receivers and DBs are working one-on-ones and what we call 2-on-2 route concepts. And then we go to 7-on-7 or pass hole. O-line, D-line are working one-on-one pass rush, and then they're working some combo stuff. And then we go team, we're working red zone. And then we end with 5 minutes of individual corrections. So we have an Indy correction period. All right. Now, we're going to adapt it to our time. This is where we're doing spring ball in Seminole. We were a 4A school, so we could not have after-school spring football. We had a 45-minute athletic period. Our field was about 5-minute drive from the school. So the kids would get in their cars, or some of them, if they didn't have a car, we had a bus. They'd get to the field house, they'd get dressed, and we had them for 32 minutes on the field. So this is a 32-minute practice plan. We did 8 4-minute periods, essentially. So you can kind of see how you can adapt this to fit the time that you have. Also in Seminole, I'll show you here. We're going to go back to the Google Drive right here. We had, most of our guys went both ways. So what we did was our offensive guys, we had our varsity for the first 14 periods, essentially. Then we flipped. All right. And then we had our JV for 14 periods. And what it was we said 14 periods. It was 7 periods of Indian group. And then it was 7 periods of group and team. All right. Where we're competitive. So that was kind of how we divided that up. So you can fit this to your guys, but put it on paper. Every coach knows where they're supposed to be. That's the most important part of this. They know where they're supposed to be first period. They know where they're supposed to be second period. They know where they're supposed to be third period. All right. And then we script everything. So if you don't script, how do your coaches know what skills they should be working? At the very least, you should have a list of plays. All right. These are what we were running during this is just an example of a script during our team period. We have our hash, we have our personnel group, what tempo we're going, the formation, the play, what defense we're facing. And then we had a card over here. We added a column for the card that we're showing the defense. But scripting helps us be focused on the game plan. We're not going to practice stuff that's not in the game plan. All right. It also ensures that we practice everything that we want to practice against the defensive look. We want to practice against it. Make sure our guys are prepared, and it makes sure we're practicing everything that we want to run and not things we don't want to run in the game. So we start with a weekly play menu. All right, that's what our play menu looks like. When we game plan, we build our play menu. So we list the formations we like, and then the concepts or calls from each formation. Then we build those. We take these things and put them into those scripts. So those scripts don't just come out of air. We say, okay, we've got these things listed. Where do we want to run them? Put them in the script. All right. Now, let me, before we get to this review, let me just pull it up. I'm going to show you this practice plan. Again, you can click down in the description, and I've got a link to this. You can see our play menu. For that day, we click that tab, click the next tab, you got Monday's practice. Click the next tab, you got Monday's scripts. Then we have Tuesday's practice. All right. Then we have Tuesday's scripts. So you can see we have a place for everything to be scripted. Then Wednesday scripts. We have it all the way through Saturday, whatever you need. All right. So that way, this is where we're filling out the play menu. Then we move to Monday. What are we running on Monday? We put that on our script. All right. So that's how we build our practice plan. And you can see that's going to help your coaches to be more organized. If your coaches are more organized and on the same page, your practices are going to run better. Now, put your practice plan on paper. You don't have to use this. You know, you can use whatever you want, but put it on paper. All right. Make sure every coach has a copy of the practice plan, a whistle, and something to write with on the field. All right. Very important. Make sure every coach knows where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there, and transition quickly. This is something you need to really work on. Coaches need to transition quickly from station to station to station, drill to drill to drill, and always make sure that if a coach is doing an indie drill, all right, you know, the receiver coach has got all those cones, and then you're about to do a group drill, and it's going to be going through that area, they need to get their cones off the field. All right. And again, I was bad at this as a quarterback coach. I'd be working on the quarterbacks and I'd have all these cones set up, and then we'd go to routes on air and I didn't move the cones. Make sure everybody knows whose responsibility is it to move the cone? Whose responsibility is it to get the scout team set up? Whose responsibility is it to draw the scout cards? All those good things. All right. Hope this gave you some stuff you can use. We're going to keep putting out some more stuff just to help you guys that are veteran OCs to get one or two nuggets, but you guys that want to be an OC to learn the job before you get it. And if you're a first-year OC, you're just learning it. Hopefully we can help you to avoid all the mistakes that I made in my career. Wish you the best. Again, make sure you like and subscribe. Check the description to go to that link and download these templates if it's something you think can help you.